Talking to Luther College men's soccer with head coach Chris Garcia Prats, and you went up north for a couple of games last week, a couple of good opponents and a couple of victories. First of all, Superior on Saturday. Got the job done. How'd you get it done?
Just played hard, kept the ball really well, created a lot of good chances, and just were persistent. You know, anytime you go on the road, Darren, you've got to just make sure that you kind of stick to the game plan, recognize the moments where you can play well in terms of keeping it, but then also being conscious of having to defend well. And we did. We had to defend our box quite a bit. They had a kid with a long throw, and they're good on set pieces, and they're very big. And they're a top 10 team in our region. And just persistent. John Janowski, who's been done really well for us up front this year. Good athletic play. And J.W. Slauson, who's kind of put himself in some great spots this year, really scored a very good goal. And with about a minute to go, and we held on. Just a really good result for our kids.
And an overtime victory against Carleton on Saturday. First of all, playing overtime in a back-to-back situation, how much of a physical challenge is that? How much of a mental challenge is that?
It's a little bit of both. Our kids were really tired. There's some kids who put in a lot of minutes, especially against Superior, and had to turn around the following day and play Carleton, who's, over the last 5-6 years has been the best team in the Minnesota Conference. And so we haven't, recently gotten a win in Northfield at Carleton, so kind of put a little bit of a task in front of the guys to kind of change that streak. And we played really well. Lucas scored an unbelievable goal in the first half on a free kick. And then our kids just were gritty. I said to them yesterday, during our video session, even after the goal, sometimes that can really kind of change the momentum of a game, but it didn't. We continued to persist. We continued to play well. Thought we created enough chances to win it in regulation. And then I think ultimately I felt like we deserved the win. It was kind of a little bit of a funky goal that we scored. But that happens. It's happened against us in the past year, and we've talked about them, and it obviously went for us. Just a really big win. I think they're going to do very well in their conference. It's a very good team. They've lost to some good teams this year, but Carleton will be a team that can potentially win the MIAC championship.
And you have a big enough roster that you got a reserve schedule, and those kids got some action Monday night. Yeah,
we had a bunch of injuries for our last reserve game that we had to kind of postpone, but we had a good squad that went down to Loris yesterday and played 1-1. Sounds like it was a good game. The Loris reserve coach kind of said it was one of their best tests that they've had, and so our assistant James took our kids down. Talked to him, late as they're driving back from Dubuque, and he said our kids played really, really well. And so that's exciting, in terms of our younger kids getting some good minutes and playing well.
And Wednesday night back home on the home pitch, taking on St. Olaf. You talk about good test. They always bring a good test, don't they?
Yeah, they're a terrific team. Every year they come in and are ready to play. And so it'll be a great test. They'll be top 10 in the region. I think they've lost one game only to Loris, they'll be ready for us. It'll be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we can get some great support from the fans to get out Wednesday night and really play. It'll be our first night game this year, so I'm looking forward to that test.
And Iowa Conference play starts Saturday down at Cedar Rapids and Co. Season flying by, but the big time of the season starts Saturday, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. St. Olaf is big on Wednesday, but it's massive to get things rolling in the right way in conference play. And typically, going down to Co has been a difficult challenge for us. They're pretty good at home, and so Homer will have them, really ready for the opener too, because it kind of goes to a blank slate. No matter what's happened up to this point, it kind of goes to the wayside. And so, but we'll have our kids ready for the opener, and and that will be a good test for us.
All right, Coach, hopefully the positivity continues again this week. We wish best of luck.
Thanks, Darren.
Chris Garcia Prats talking Luther men's soccer.